When it comes to building your social media in a way that generates you not only followers, but most importantly, leads, this is the most tactical interview you'll ever going to find based on what you need to do right now to capitalize while building your brand and the mindset you need in order to get there. During the Connect Hub, the in-person event we held, we dived deep into branding, social media, and marketing, and it was a great success. We had numerous agents asking if Yasir Khan, one of the speakers, and his presentation was recorded. And unfortunately, it wasn't. However, I have the pleasure of bringing him back this time for our Power Hour interview. Just a quick reminder that Yasir Khan is a TEDx speaker, a speech coach for 8-figure entrepreneurs with an audience of over 2 million, and someone that has coached over 2,500 professionals to speak with authority. His previous presentation was full of actionable steps and very technical, so make sure that you watch this and learn how to grow your social media presence as well as how to get business from your followers. He will show you the step-by-step process that he took to get to 1 million followers on TikTok and on Instagram. And close to the end of this video, he will show you his unique strategy that I honestly don't see anyone talking about in order to get leads for his business and how you can do the same. So if you want to properly grow your social media in 2025, you're not going to want to miss these strategies. So let's dive in.
Okay, so today I'm going to share with you my approach to getting to 12 or getting to 1 million followers in about 12 months. I know that sounds like a pretty big claim, but I've done it about 2 times. And I want to show you the business side of it and why this is important. Yes, you can get followers, but what's the point of it? We'll talk about 3 main things today, mainly how to acquire business, what kinds of videos to make, and how to script and film them. Now, I'm going to share this with you from the perspective of how I have done it. This is not me telling you what to do. I don't know the nuances of your industry, but like Jessica said, just take some ideas and maybe one of them will be helpful. If by the end of our session, one thing gets you a new lead, a new listing, whatever it might be, then it's been time well spent, okay? We're going to talk about 3 main platforms. We're going to talk about TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, but we're going to talk about the short version of these. So we're going to talk about the Reels, YouTube Shorts. We're not going to go into YouTube long form. That's a whole nother game in itself, and I don't think you need it as well. Now, why do I focus so much on social media? I have a few reasons. The first one being the quality of the leads that I get from social media are just generally very, very good. So I'll show you how I filter these out, but you can generally see their occupation when they come into my CRM. So you can see you have business heads, insurance advisors, principal architects. This is how I qualify my leads. And I found this to be very, very consistent across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And yes, TikTok as well. We'll talk about that shortly. The other thing I've realized with branding is when you have a social media following, they already have a lot of trust with you. So here's an example of someone who reached out to me, and at the time I was full. So I said, hey, I've got very limited coaching spots. I can put you in touch with someone on my team. You can work with them. And he said, hey, no worries. I will wait. I'll work with you. And I've seen this happen so many times where people will go to my competitors and they'll talk to them. Then they'll come to me and say, okay, when is your slot opening? Okay, I'll wait 3 months, no problem. So just because you have such a strong branding, they'd rather work with you and they'd rather wait longer to do that. The other thing I've noticed is you can be the best in the industry, but if no one knows who you are, it's just very difficult to stand out. So for me as a public speaking coach, it's given me a huge, huge advantage because I haven't been in this space compared to my competitors as long. Some of my competitors have been doing this for 40, 50 years. So I need something to stand out, and social media tends to be that thing. Now, who am I and why should you listen to me? A very, very good question. Now, I know I'm a good-looking guy, but that's not a good enough reason to listen. The other reason is I have trained a lot of people from Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Meta on public speaking. But the thing that you're most concerned with is social media. So with YouTube, I've grown an audience of about 335,000. This took me about 5 years to do, transparently. It was a very, very tough platform because I was figuring out how to do it. And some of the videos you can see have gotten 45 million, 20 million, 10 million, and many, many more examples. Then I started on TikTok, where now I think we've got 1.1 million followers. Same thing, we've got about 300 million views on the platform. And then recently, this is as of May of last year, May of 2023, I started a brand new, fresh Instagram account from scratch. And if you look at it now, it's 1.6 million. So these numbers are a little outdated. So I've grown the platforms really, really fast. And I want to show you how I use these platforms to acquire business, because who cares if I have followers, right? Can we make money from it? We're going to talk about that. So here's my entire process. I'm going to simplify it step by step, show you how I get business, and then we're going to break down every single element. The first thing I'll do is, on each platform, my goal is, how do I get as many people as humanly possible to watch my videos? How can I get the most amount of traffic possible? So I'm a public speaking coach, so it makes sense for me to analyze people who speak, analyze speeches and interviews. So you'll see some of my most popular ones are like Donald Trump, for example, Brad Pitt, and other CEOs, and they get millions and millions of views. Now, some of them have gotten so many views that I got messages from people I hadn't met since high school. They said, hey, I ran into your video. And this is someone on the other side of the planet, by the way, back in Pakistan. So sometimes they go mega, mega viral. I had a friend of mine who had a real estate client of his. He made a video, and someone from South Africa reached out to him wanting to buy a property in Canada for his daughter. So you never know how far the content might be pushed out. So first, we've made the videos. We try to get as many views as possible. I'm going to break down how to do that. At the end of each video, I have some sort of a call to action. So at the end of my videos, I have, here's how to get a free speaking course. I put together a 10-day speaking course. It has 10 hours of free content. People know how to practice their speaking, and there's a community there. So it's something that people would normally have to pay a lot of money for, but I just made it free. What this results in, me getting about 600 people on my email list every single day. And that's how you can communicate with them. You can nurture their leads over time. But there's another thing that might be more useful for you. I'll share it. So let's say I say, get the free speaking course here in my bio. I show them exactly where to go with a screenshot of my profile. They will go and they'll click the little link thing in my bio on Instagram and TikTok. And I recommend having no more than 3 options. Even 3, in my opinion, is quite a bit. If you're wondering how you can do that, there's an app called Linktree. It just gives you several options. So at the time, I was trying to promote my public speaking classes and membership. So I just highlighted that section, and people could go there. If they wanted to be on my email list, they could download the free speaking course. And if they've been watching my content for a while and they say, oh, I don't really care about the free speaking course, I have a presentation coming up, I just want your help, then they'll click on the third option there that says one-on-one coaching. For this example, we'll assume they just came ready and prepared and they wanted to work with me, which a lot of our leads do. They'll click the one-on-one coaching and they'll go to this form here. And this form will say, hey, this is how you can work with us. First, we need to know a little bit about you so that we can determine if it's a good fit. What I don't do is hop on a call with everybody. And the reason I don't do that is because you don't know people on the internet. You don't know if they're qualified. So once they fill this out, and this is a survey form, I use a software called Typeform. You can also use Google Forms if you want. This gives us a list of people from which platform they came in, what they need, and what their qualification is. So for example, some of these you can see are from TikTok and Instagram, CEO, founder, manager, software consultant. I know these are people who are qualified, so I can get on a call with them. But occasionally we'll get someone who'll say, cashier at Wendy's or working at Dollarama, or whatever it might be. They're not exactly what I'm looking for in terms of clientele, so I don't have to get on a call with them. I had a client who had about 500,000 followers, and she was getting on calls with everybody, and she kept saying, oh, these people have no money, they have no money. And then I asked her, do you qualify them? Like, no, I asked them on the call. Like, no, don't ask them on the call. Ask them before you get on a call with them. So this is why we try to filter out as much as we can, and we only get on calls with people who are qualified to work with us. Now, any given week, we get about 184-ish leads. I don't expect you to get that many just because my audience is much bigger. This started off at 5, maybe 8, maybe 10 a week, and then it grew ever since. Sometimes what we'll do is when we get the lead, we will email them and get them to book a call with us. Other times, there's a script built into the form. If they qualify, they'll automatically get a link with us, and then they can book a time that works. They get on a call with us. We talk to them. Hey, what do you need in terms of public speaking? Can we help you? Yes or no? And then they pay us anywhere between $5,000, $10,000, and $25,000. That's how we make our money. Is that clear so far? Simple enough? Give me a quick thumbs up just so I know. Okay, it's not rocket science, right? But I'll break down exactly how we do that. Okay, and I see Jesse, I think your microphone is on. If you could just mute, that would be great. I'm getting some feedback when you're in here. All right. Now, one of the main issues that I had is my audience on these platforms. Instagram, yes. YouTube, yes. But TikTok? Who the heck is still using TikTok? I'm not 14 years old. Why do I have to use TikTok? I started using TikTok by a complete accident because I had some YouTube videos and my friend said, hey, why don't you just put them on TikTok and see what happens? So I took some of them, I put them on TikTok, and I forgot about it. Then my girlfriend tells me, hey, have you checked your TikTok? And I checked it. In a week, I had 4,500 followers on there. So I said, this is interesting, but I don't want a bunch of kids following my content. What's the point? So in my bio, I added that link where people could book a call with me. And the first person who booked a call with me was the founder of a $300 million tech company who ended up becoming my first client. And then I thought, wow, this TikTok thing is crazy. Since then, we've done more than $400,000 just on TikTok alone. So if you are one of those people like me who are like, oh, I think TikTok is for kids, whatever, you're only losing money with that belief. So I would get past it as soon as you can. Some examples I'll give you is Kennedy Law Firm. Law can be a very, very dry topic, but he has 1.6 million followers. And some of his videos, you can see 12 million, 10 million, 7 million, plenty of people. And he doesn't need millions of people to become customers. He needs one or two from a video. And you'll notice in his videos, he doesn't talk about intricate law. He'll talk about fun topics like, can teachers make you stay after the bell rings? Or when I spend 4 hours in court defending a client and he shows up wearing a wife beater. These are not technical topics. They're not dry topics. We'll get into the strategy of that shortly. Then we have Joel Kaplan, who has a marketing agency. Again, it's more of a niche service, but you can see 3.5 million, 1.8 million, 1.7 million. And if you look at his bio, it's the same thing. Access my free course. Give something of high value so they sign into your newsletter, or you can go for the kill directly depending on your sales process. Next up is my personal favorite, and this helped me abolish a lot of my limiting beliefs, is the jet business. This person sells private jets on TikTok. And these range from 15 million to about $70 million. And he's made videos countless times saying, yes, I have sold jets on TikTok to wealthy buyers. So if this person can sell jets online, folks, you can sell whatever the heck you want, okay? So anything about my audience is not on TikTok or not on Instagram. It's not true. Let's get into content strategy. Now, this is something that took me a very, very long time to realize. My audience was primarily 8-figure entrepreneurs who are stepping on stage to talk about their product. But if you look at how many of those actually exist in the market, is very, very little. So when I was making videos, I was getting 400 views, 300 views, and I was wondering, wow, what's happening? Why am I not getting any views on my channel? And that's because I was making the biggest mistake of all on social media when you want to use it for business. That is only making videos for your ideal buyer. So if you only make videos for first-time home buyers or first-time mortgage people, I don't know what the terminology is, go with me here. If you just make videos for those people, your audience is going to be massively, massively restricted. So what you want to do is you want to make videos for a much broader audience that also contains your target audience. So maybe someone's not buying a house right now. They plan on buying a house in the future. By the time they decide to buy a house, they already know who you are. They're already familiar with you. Now you will be the first person to think of. So you want to start really broad, and then you go less and less and less niche with your content. A really good example here is Ryan Serhant. Who here is familiar with Ryan Serhant? Give me a hand raise, please. Okay. If you go to his most popular videos, they are all of these elaborate videos about massive houses, entertainment focus, videos anybody could watch, right? Touring the world's biggest closet, touring a massive 280 million. How many people who are watching this out of the 19 million do you think are planning on buying a $188 million house? I imagine not a whole lot. So what he does is he gets millions of people to watch, and he only needs 0.001% of people to buy, and he's profited off of that video. So again, really, really broad strategy. If you're looking at numbers, this is what I like to do. 30% of my videos are very broad. I'll give you examples of this as well. Very, very broad. 60% less broad. 10% is niche. So in terms of a title of a video, a very broad title would be how to start a presentation. Many people start a presentation. Less broad would be how to start a corporate keynote presentation. Still a massive audience. 10% would be, hey, founders, here's the best way to start a 60-minute keynote presentation without being nervous and addressing investors. Can you see how specific that is? It eliminates about 90% of the audience right there. So some of you might be doing the same thing with your audience and your content if you're just talking to one person. So try to make it broad. Here are examples from my own content regarding broad and niche content. So this would be the new iPhone came out and I made a video about why not everybody needs to buy an iPhone. Does it have anything to do with my niche of public speaking? No. Did I get millions of views? Yes. Am I going to milk it till the end of time? Yes, I will. And that's exactly what I did. The other one was, why do we hate the sound of our voice? It doesn't really have a lot to do with public speaking, but it's still in the realm, but it's also enough where everybody might have that question. So I made a video about that. Now, occasionally, you'll get surprised. You'll make a video and you'll wonder, why did this do well? I made this video here about the CEO of Accenture and how she starts her speech. Not the sexiest topic. I wouldn't imagine anyone's looking for it. Well, apparently 2 million people really wanted to watch it. And here's the funny thing. The first time I uploaded the video, it had 500,000 views. Then I uploaded the exact same video again, and it got 2 million views. So if you are on Instagram and you have a fire piece of content, every month or so, recycle the content, and you'll be shocked how many new people come in there and how many new people did not even know. Because you know your content, your audience is following 50 other creators. They don't keep track of what they posted. Some more niche content. And by the way, you'll notice the views also tank with this one. How to use your hands when you're starting a presentation, talking to investors. Very, very niche topic. And because of that, the views are also very, very low. Is this making sense so far? Is this valuable so far? Okay, beautiful. Now, let's talk about 7 types of videos to make. This is the type of content that I make that gets a lot of views. And again, remember, the focus is how do we get as many people into our bubble as possible. The most successful for me has been trending content. Something is happening in the world, not just your world of real estate, in the world in general, that you can comment on. And because it's a popular topic, people want to hear other people's opinions on it. So here, there was the TikTok of CEO testifying in front of Congress in the US, and they were asking him really, really stupid questions. I don't know if anyone saw this, but it was a crapshoot. It was hilarious. So when I was watching it, I thought, oh, let me make a video about that. I made a video, and in the first 5 minutes, it got 10,000 views. So then I made another video, and then another video. These 3 videos that you're seeing were all made within the span of half an hour. And I got 34 million views between them on one platform. Now imagine how many of these then continue to watch my content, continue to buy my products, all of that. This is only because I capitalized on something that's happening in the industry right now. So think about it for your industry. What is happening in the industry? Maybe a celebrity bought a house right now. Maybe someone's broke, they have to sell the house. Talk about that, cover that story. Number 2, social hacking. If I say, here's how to start a keynote, here's how to start a presentation, maybe someone will watch. But if I say, here's how Steve Jobs starts his presentation, here's how Elon Musk ends his presentation, same exact thing, but the packaging is different. Because people are more inclined to watching someone who's more famous, they will gravitate more towards that kind of content. So you could make a video about, here's the inside of Drake's $200 million condo. Or I don't know if any one of you have access to Drake's condo. If you do, that would be a great hack. But think about it. How can I incorporate famous people and talk about them and talk about what they look for? Like Steve Jobs would never buy a house unless it had this piece of furniture, or this designer designs people's house from this angle. You know what I'm saying? So try a social hacking angle. It's worked really well for me. The other concept that I've seen work really well is something I call what is happening. Sometimes, and you'll notice this happening, You will watch a video and you don't quite know what's going on, and you just want to continue watching it to see what's going on because your mind just needs to fill in the loops. So it'll just want to finish the video. So sometimes I'll start a video intentionally vague just so people watch. So in the left example, I get my clients to do a certain exercise where they balance a tennis racket on their hand, and it's supposed to show how they can focus during an exercise. But when the video starts, all they see is someone trying to balance a racket in their hand, and they don't know what's going on. So they keep watching because they want to figure it out. On the right side, it's me reacting to someone's speech. So I'll just start the video and I'll just be watching the speech, and people will wonder, okay, what is this person saying? What is this other person going to say about what this person is saying? I want to see what is going to happen. So this creates some anticipation. And you can also do this by, here's a $2 million apartment. You're never going to believe how amazing the bathroom is. Come have a look. And then you guide them through the entire property and then show them the bathroom at the end. So you have to build some sort of anticipation in the videos to get them to continue watching. How-tos, these are my favorite ones because I don't really need a lot of preparation with this. I just sit in front of the camera and I talk. Sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't. But if you're one of those people who you just have a tough time sitting in front of the camera and you feel like every word has to be rehearsed, here's an example of 2 of my videos. One of them has 1.1 million. One of them has 1.2 million. It's literally me sitting in front of the camera with no editing and just talking. So you can definitely do this and get away with it as long as you're able to just talk about one single point and be coherent. The next one is, why do you say that? This is when you talk about your controversial opinions or you make a bold statement that you believe in. So on the left side, I said, never start your presentation like this. And anytime something is negatively, it starts with a negative connotation, people are usually more hyper aware. Oh, what's this thing? I hope I'm not doing it. And then they watch it. So instead of, here's what to look for in a first property, never do this in the first property. That's just going to do well most of the time. And on the right side, I made a statement. Most managers become managers, not because they're good at managing, but because they've been in the role for a long time. So this is my controversial statement, and you can see 3.5 million views. And if you look at the comments section, it is hilarious. It's just people fighting with each other. Yes, my manager does this too. He's always micromanaging, and someone else got promoted to a managerial role, and they're saying, actually, I don't manage like that. What are you? And they're just fighting, and my algorithm is just getting boosted, and it's getting millions and millions of views. So anytime you can have some sort of a discourse, preferably a healthy discourse, you'll get a lot of engagement on your content. The next one, this was actually, I made this video one day before we did our in-person session last time. I wrote a few points on a piece of paper and I doodled and I just explained how to never run out of things, and I recorded it with my phone. And a lot of people had this problem where they were in conversation in a networking event, they would run out of things to say, they wouldn't know what to say next. So I just made a video about it. And people said, oh, I need to know how to never run out of things to say. I need to continue watching. And I got 2 million views in about a day. This last one, I discovered this very recently, but it's ended up being one of my top performing contents. And it goes against a lot of what I just told you, but bear with me here. It's called underserved markets. I once had a client from Saudi Arabia who was one of my best clients. So I asked him, hey, why did you reach out to me? He said, well, I just really liked your content. I said, okay, I want more clients like you. Who is a speaker in Saudi Arabia that I could cover? So he recommended that I cover this gentleman on the left side, Abdullah Al-Swaha, who is the Minister of Communication and Technology in Saudi Arabia. Again, very, very small niche. So I thought, okay, let me analyze his speaking style. I got half of Saudi Arabia watching that freaking video because I had the Saudi government reach out, Saudi corporations reach out, people from all over Saudi reaching out. Hey, we saw your video. Can you come and train our people? Then I looked at the Saudi foreign minister on the right side. I made a video about him. That hit 1 million. So I realized there are pockets in the industry where no one is making content. And when you make content in that industry, people feel recognized. Oh, look at this outsider looking at our culture, our way of life, and he likes it. Let's share that with other people. So now I make videos about Singapore, about Finland, any country that has a lot of money. I'm just going to find their politicians and make videos about them. That's my strategy. So I don't know how well that will serve you, but look for underserved markets. Who are people that no one's making videos about, and let me go and be that person for them. Okay? Is that making sense? Give me a thumbs up if that's making sense. Okay, I can see like 2 of you on the screen here. I know Jessica and Andrea are going to give me a thumbs up no matter what I say, so I'm just going to take your word for it. All right, let's get into how I make content. There are 2 main ways I make content. Number 1, scripting and filming. This is a more high effort approach, but it's also going to work a lot more times than if you just uploaded a random video. So here, I will write down my first line, second line, third line. I'll know what to say, and then I'm going to shoot the video, edit the video, and then I'm going to upload it. Just because you can control the variables a lot more, these videos tend to do better. Here's how I'll script my videos. 5 easy steps. First thing is the hook. If you get anything away from my entire presentation, it's spend 99% of your video content or time spent on planning your video on the first sentence. Or not even the first sentence, literally the first shot of the video. Forget the rest. If people don't listen to the first sentence, they're not going to listen to the rest of it. So the first thing is going to be the hook. Then I go into the problem. I tell a story and then a solution and then a call to action. So for example, I used to be very, very nervous, or here's how to never be nervous in a presentation. I used to be very, very nervous when I was stepping in front of an audience. I didn't know what to say. I once had a presentation that I completely bombed and I got fired from my job. But then I discovered the ABC method, and I've been doing the ABC method ever since. So if you want to try it, go try it out. And by the way, if you want to try it, go check it out. In my bio, there's a free 10-day speaking course. Thank you very much. Was that amazing or what? Right? I've done this enough times. So you can just have a strong hook, problem, story, solution, call to action. The reason you have problem, story, solution is because A, it allows you to talk about your clients and your past wins. B, it stretches out the video. And C, when you finally give your solution, the payoff seems bigger. Because if you just say, here's how to start a presentation by telling a joke. Now I know what the solution is. I don't need to watch the rest of your video. So most people will front load the value. Don't do that. Wait till the end to deliver the value. Focus the 90% on the hook. Examples here, why you shouldn't use a pencil to take notes. I said this in our in-person event and people were like, wait, why? I'm taking pencil notes right now. Why shouldn't I do it? I'm making this up. There's no reason why you shouldn't use a pencil. Go ahead, use whatever you want. How I made $25,000 in a bus full of strangers. This is a good friend of mine who actually did this, and this was a video he made, and it did extremely well. Never start your presentation like this. One thing you can try, whenever you're filming a video, this is a quick little hack for you. Let's say you make a video. For the first 3 to 5 seconds, film 3 to 5 different hooks. So for one of them, you could say, here's what to look for in a property. The second one, you can say, never look for this when you're looking for a property. Or 3, here are agents to avoid, whatever it might be. Try 5 different spins and you'll be shocked how the rest of the content will be the exact same, but the first sentence will be different and the content will perform significantly differently. So what you can do is you can have the same content, remove the hook, replace the hook, remove the hook, replace the hook, and now instead of 1 video, you've got 5 videos. There are some videos where I've made just the same exact piece of content and I've just changed the hook maybe 10 times. And nobody can tell. Unless they're diehard content creation expert, they won't be able to tell. And then you can also see what kind of hooks do the best for you. Now, here's how I film my videos. 3 easy steps. I hit record and I do 1 really long take. I read from the script 1 line at a time. So I'll say, hello, this is me talking about XYZ. Hello, this is me talking about XYZ. Now I'm going to talk about ABC. Now I'm going to talk about ABC. So I can look at 1 line, talk to the camera, 1 line, talk to the camera, and I'll cut out the pauses in the edits. For me, a challenge I have is if I have to start and stop and start and stop, I lose momentum very quickly because I mess up so many times that it just demotivates me. So what I'll do is I'll start talking about random things and then I will transition into my video. So for example, yeah, what am I talking about today? Yeah, my topic today is about how to start a presentation today. So today, here's how you would start a presentation. This is what you should do, 1, 2, and 3. So it gives me that little bit of a runway to warm up and become more conversational. And then I just naturally go into the video. If I had to just start and stop, here are 3 ways to start. Can you see how long it takes me just to get started? But if I say, yeah, what am I talking about today? Yeah, I'm talking about 3 ways that you can start your presentation. And then I can just go with it. So if you find that you get stuck when you're recording, give yourself a bit of a runway. It usually helps out. This is an example of my beautiful teeth before Invisalign, but the focus here is the video was 4 minutes long, and it's just me sitting there in front of the camera talking for 4 minutes with no editing. The only thing I've done is added captions, and all I've done is told a story for 4 minutes straight, and you can do the exact same thing. So this is pretty much how I would script and film the videos. The second thing, and I've seen a lot of people in real estate do this, is you document yourself. Document what you do, document you talking to your clients, document you showing property, document walking around places. For me as a public speaker, I hired a videographer to follow me around wherever I go. In fact, he's in the room right now. I'm kidding. He just follows me around to my venues and he records all of my speaking engagements. So what I'll do then is I will go through the videos and I'll find good spots where I've said something profound. I'm just going to edit that bit and then I'm going to post it online. So here are the two examples from my workshops where I'll just record it, I'll splice it up and I'll upload it. If you're someone who feels like I don't have enough time to go out of my way to make content, then you can document your content. You can hire an editor or something. I'll talk to you about that later. And you can upload that content. So A, go in with a conscious effort of filming content, script it and make it. But if that's not your thing, document it. You can do it yourself or you can hire somebody else to do that. Making sense? Okay. So here's how to speak on camera. I'm going to run through this really quickly. It's not rocket science. Number one, cut the fluff. If the word doesn't have to be there, remove the word. Imagine you're paying tax for every single word that you say. The shorter, the more concise, the better. On camera, you have 50% less energy than you normally would. Because if I'm talking like this, I'm teaching you how to make client content, you're probably not going to listen to me. So on camera, you have to exaggerate a little bit because when people watch, it won't come across as if you're at 200%. It'll just come across as your normal self. So try being a little bit more energetic than you normally would. Have variation in your voice. If you talk like this the entire time, hey, today, first-time home buyers, I'm going to help you. Good luck. Because you're not just competing with other agents, you're competing with social media in general. You're competing with the Kim Kardashians, the Kylie Jenners of the world, and people will scroll past your content right away. And then use your hands. If you're walking around, give some sort of visual cue, keep it entertaining. How to edit. This is going to be the shortest slide ever. There are two things that I use to edit. One, I use a software called CapCut. It is the simplest software in the world. You can download it on your phone. There's an option where it automatically removes all the filler words, all the pauses with one button. It gets you the captions. It's very, very simple to use. On the right side, you can go into TikTok or Instagram's native video editor. Super simple to use. Most of my videos have not been edited other than just the pauses and the caption, and it works really well. And if you feel like I don't really want to do any of this editing stuff, the best thing that I did, I went to Upwork or Fiverr. You just outsource it. On average, a simple short or a TikTok, they can edit for you for about $15, $8, something like that, depending on the video editor. I have a person who goes through my 3-hour-long workshops, finds all the clips that are interesting, then sends it to the video editor and he clips it. So I don't have to do anything. Everything is hands off. So if you don't want to do it, highly recommend you just outsource it. This is my team. This is what they would do. I would send them the video. They would give me revised versions. I'll say, hey, I don't like this. I like this. Can you fix it? And then you can see they said, hey, here are the 9 clips that I've picked from your Tell Us workshop. I'm then going to upload the one that I want. Now, 80% of the things that don't matter when it comes to social media. If you're living in 2008 like I was, a lot of things would make sense, but do not pay attention to the time of upload. It doesn't matter. You can upload at 8 in the morning, 8 in the afternoon, 8 in the afternoon. Where is it 8 in the afternoon? 8 in the morning, 8 in the evening. Doesn't matter. Caption. Half of my videos don't even have a caption. Like it's empty. Maybe it'll have, here's how I do public speaking. Camera gear. Doesn't matter. Most of my videos are made for my selfie camera. Fancy editing. Doesn't matter. Sure, sometimes people see it and they say, wow, this person put a lot of effort into it. Ultimately not necessary. Hashtags. I haven't used a hashtag in a year and a half. And you'll have a lot of people say, SEO, Instagram, this, blah, blah. I haven't needed to do it. Maybe it works for you. I have never used a hashtag. Here's the 20% that actually does matter. A strong hook, really good sound. Please get a microphone. Do not use one of those microphones on your phone because you'll have a lot of echo. Just get one of these lapel mics connected to your phone. It costs like $30 and the sound is significantly better. I've seen a lot of people do property tours on the outside. So get one of those mics that has a little fluff thing on the outside that blocks the wind. Vertical video. I've seen so many people on Instagram, they'll make a horizontal video and they'll repurpose that for Instagram. Don't do that. Make a vertical video. On TikTok, same thing. However, what I will say, TikTok is now experimenting with horizontal videos. I think they're trying to compete with YouTube. So it's worth a shot trying to upload a horizontal video on TikTok and just see what happens. Stories and values. So you want people to know you and like you. And if you just make content about tips and tricks, here's how to do that, here's how to do this, people will get value, but they won't know you as a person. You're a very transactional person to them. The next person who gives tips to them, they're just going to go to them. So you want to have some sort of story about you, your interests, who you are as a person in there as well. And then you make videos for both broad and really niched audiences as well. The Ryan Serhant content and then the first-time homebuyer content. So let's do a quick recap. How to get leads, get massive views on your videos, get as many people as possible. What kind of videos to make? We talked about the 7 different types of videos that'll get you the most amount of views. How do you edit? You can edit this with CapCut. You can edit this with TikTok and Instagram, their native video editor. You do all of these things, folks, and I promise you, you will get from 0 to 1 million followers in 12 months or less. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you appreciated this. If you want to follow me, you can follow